Okay, welcome to, this is the Learn to Code 2 chapter parameters and the third activity, crank up and down. Crank up and down is a challenge, and the idea is to use your expert and turn the lock method to collect all the gems. So there are some platforms in here. There are 4 different colored platforms, and we're going to need to move these platforms up so that we can work our way around to get some gems up on the top level walls and some down here on the lower level walls. Okay, now there's 2 ways to do this, and we're going to do 2 different videos on this today. One of them, we're going to try to use the right-hand rule to have our character just sort of wander around all the paths, and when he encounters a gem, collect it. Okay, so that's the video for today. When we do another video next time, we'll look for some patterns and we'll try to decompose the problem into some ideas that have repeating patterns in them and call some functions that will take care of those patterns. Okay, so but for today, let's go ahead and create an instance of our expert. So we'll say type expert and our type character. We're going to create an instance of both of those, and then I'm going to run my code just to see where they pop up. And expert pops up over here, which just has a single tile, and he can just turn left or right to access any of these locks to turn them up or down. Okay, and he can help the character then, who's starting right here in the middle of the puzzle, facing sort of this top wall here, and he can help him get around to the gems by moving the locks up or down. So notice that we have 3 gems up on top here. We have 1, 2, 3 gems. We can get to those fairly easily, especially if we move these 2 platforms up so that they're aligned with these walls. Then the character can roam around on this top level picking up gems. Okay, so we're going to sort of do that first. Let's go ahead and get this, let's get these platforms up a little bit. And I think the platforms we need are a yellow and a blue one. And so it looks like it's the yellow one that he's facing right now and the blue one to his left. If he turns those up, it looks like about 3 tile heights. He'll be able to walk around on this top level collecting gems. So let's start with that. Okay, let's start with that. So here we're going to say, we want to do, well, let's just have him turn the expert.turn. And remember, we've got this new function here, turn lock, and we can use that to turn the lock up or down any number of times. Okay, so while we're facing the yellow one, let's move the yellow one up. So the up will be true. The up parameter will be set to true here, and we will send the number of times to be 3. Okay, and then we want to turn left, expert.turn left, turn left, and we'll do the same thing for the blue one. Okay, so if we're going to repeat this twice, we could just put this in a for loop and say do it 2 times. Okay, all right, so here we go. Let's say for, now we could say for I in 1 to 2, but remember, if we're not going to be using the variable I anywhere in our loop, then we can use this underscore for underscore in 1 to 2 to just say to do whatever is in the loop body, which are these 2 commands now, to do that twice. Okay, so let's just be sure that everything gets set up. We'll run the code here. In fact, I'm going to run it faster. We'll be running most things today faster because this is a long puzzle, and I'd like to see it move a little quicker. Okay, so that yellow one is not quite up enough, so we need to move that up 4, it looks like. So we'll go ahead and run it faster again. Start over. And while that's running, let's try to remind ourselves of what the right-hand rule is. So if we want to wander around using the right-hand rule, in the past we've written a function, and maybe this one we'll call it func wander right-hand rule. So I'll go ahead and add that in here. Func wander using right-hand rule. Okay, and to think about this again, the basic idea for wandering around using the right-hand rule was as long as we are blocked on the right, if we're blocked on the right, then we want to be able to move forward. And so let's just try that. So let's say if is blocked to the right, and the one we're going to be moving around is our character. So if our character is blocked to the right, then we want to move forward. Character.move forward. Okay. And if the character, so if the character is not blocked to the right, that means we've moved away from the wall, right? We've moved away from the wall. We need to get back to the wall. So we'll say else, let's say character dot turn to the right, and then a character dot move forward to get back to the wall. Okay. Then the one other thing we said was that if we're moving around, but we ever get blocked to our front, then we don't want to move forward because we'll crash. Instead, we want to turn to the left to get away from that blocked obstacle. So that comes in here. Instead of just always moving forward, first we want to check if our character is blocked to the front. If so, we're just going to say, hey, character, you dot turn left. You turn left. Otherwise, if you're not blocked to the front, then you're going to move forward. Okay? And just a reminder, what's going on in here is this, if we're inside this if statement, we make it inside here and to here, we know that our character is blocked to the right. And if our character is blocked to the right and it's blocked to the front, then we turn left. But if our character is blocked to the right and it's not blocked to the front, that means we're down in this else statement right here, and we just want to move forward. Now, if our character is not blocked to the right, then we do this and get back to the wall. Okay? So we could try this just by walking around inside here, and we can say while, and let's just have him just keep walking around just to see what happens for now. While true, we want to say wander around using the right hand rule. Okay, just to see if that wander around thing is working very well. Okay, let's try this out. Run faster. Moving the yellow platform up 4 levels. Then turn left and move the blue platform up 4 levels. Okay, now he's going to start wandering around. We're not collecting gems, we're just seeing if this right-hand rule works fairly smoothly or not. Looks great so far. Come down here, come up here. So it looks like this will take care of this third gem up here. Then he's going to turn around. As he comes back down, he should keep following this right-hand side, yeah. Okay, but then he's getting stuck down here, so we're going to need to deal with that in a little bit, but that looks good. We've taken care of the whole top level, and he's actually worked his way down to the bottom level, and I can see that if we can move some of these other platforms around, he may just end up cleaning up this whole bottom all the gems in the bottom level. Okay, so that's good. Now, let's actually start collecting gems. So collecting gems on the top level. Now, we could do this by putting it in our while true method, but we could also put it in our wandering function here and do something like right at the very beginning. If we're ever on a gem, the first thing we want to do is collect it. So if is on a gem, then we're going to say character, you need to collect that gem, and we actually have to say is the character on the gem here. The character is on the gem, go ahead and collect the gem. Now, how long do we want to do this? We know we don't want to do this while true thing all the time. We need to stop at some point. And this, we're going to think about this in two different levels here, because at some point we need to move the yellow and the blue platform down and then move this orange and purple one up so that all the platforms are at the same level on this lower level. So, well, let's just try this. Let's collect gems and we'll count gems, and we'll see when it is that we want to stop. Okay. Now, to count gems, we're going to need to make a variable here, and every time we collect a gem, we're going to want to add 1 to that variable. So let's try that. So we'll make a variable number of gems collected. Okay, and it's going to start at 0 because at the beginning we haven't collected any gems. And every time we collect a gem right in here, we're just going to say number of gems collected. And here's our little shortcut to say plus equals 1, which just means the same thing as number of gems collected equals number of gems collected plus 1. We say that's incrementing or adding 1 to the value that's being stored in number of gems collected. Okay, so let's just keep running this and see when it is that we want to change all these platforms and their levels. So we're going to run this again. We'll watch carefully this time, and this time we'll collect the gems. Okay, he's raising up the yellow platform, and then raising up the blue platform. And then we're going to say, while true again, just forever and ever, let's wander around using the right-hand rule, this time collecting gems. Got it? Okay, he's going to come over and get this third gem. Now, I don't think we want to stop once we have 3 gems because he does this nice thing where he comes down onto the lower level. But somewhere down here we want to clean up this lower level. So I think what would help is if we raise up the orange and the purple platforms up, let's see, one level, they will be on at the same lower level that Byte is when he's down here walking through the valley, and he may pick up some of these gems then. So let's do that at the very beginning, right after we move after we turn the yellow and the blue platform up. Let's also do that for the let's do it for the purple and orange one, but we won't move it up 4 levels, we'll just move it up 1. So a for loop for underscore in 1 to 2, that means we're going to do the when this is 1, we're going to do the orange platform, and then when it's 2, we're going to do the purple platform. Okay, so let's say expert.turn lock. This time we're going to turn it up true only 1 time each. I forgot my expert turn left in here. Let's try this again. Yellow all the way up, the blue one all the way up, And then the orange one all the way up. No, the orange one's just going to go up 1 to the lower level. And then the purple will go up 1 to the lower level. And then we're going to send the character roaming around collecting gems. He's going to clean up this top level here. And here's the third one. So that's 3 out of 7 gems collected. Here he comes. There's 4 collected. There's 5 collected. Aha, okay. Oh, okay. So after 5, it would be nice if we could move the blue and the yellow down three levels so that they'd be set on the same lower level, and he could go ahead and walk around and pick up these last 2 gems on the lower level. So let's try that here. Right down in here, let's go ahead and say, instead of while true, we'll say while the number of gems collected is less than or equal to 5, we're going to wander around using the right-hand rule. Okay, but once it's equal to 5, then we want to stop for a minute and do handle turning the yellow one and the blue one. We're facing the yellow one now, so that's nice. The yellow one and the blue one for for underscore in 1 to 2, let's say expert.turn lock down this time, so this is going to be false, some number of times, which I think is going to be 3. It looks like we need to move that down 3 times, and then let's go ahead and turn, have the expert turn to the left, turn to the left. Okay, so now when he moves those down, we can get him wandering again, collecting all the gems, the last 2 gems on the bottom. And how long do we want to do that? Until we have all the gems. So we'll say while now the number of gems collected is less than or equal to 7, 7 is the total here, we want to wander around using the right-hand rule. So when it is 7, he'll stop this and move down into here, and there's no more code, so he should stop doing that. So let's try this again here. Our main program is basically just these 2 while loops, which are just have him wander around here and wander around here, but we interrupt in the middle to go ahead and have him have the expert turn the locks, turn the platforms up, down to get out of the way. Sorry, the yellow and the blue ones down to get out of the way. Okay, he's doing a good job cleaning up the top. Got 2 gems. Take him down, and he'll come pick up the rest of the top over here. Got him. Turn around, come back down. Now he'll start taking care of the lower level. And we're all set up with these platforms here. So he picks up that one. That's the 4th. After the 5th, he's going to stop. And that didn't work. Oh, okay. Well, we got a bug here. We said while the number of gems is less than or equal to 5. Really, we want it to be less than 5, right? Because once it gets to 5, we want him to stop and do this here. And same thing with this, as long as we are less than 7, as long as our number of gems is less than 7, we're going to keep wandering around. But if we have 7 gems, we're going to stop. Let's try this one more time. Hopefully you at home were paying attention and you saw those bugs and you were like banging the table, saying, "What are you doing, Bill?" Okay, the blue platform's up. Now he can wander. As long as he has less than 5 gems collected, he's just going to keep picking up gems. Once he has 5, he'll stop and let the expert lower the yellow and the blue platforms to get them lined up so that they're on the lower level, and he can pick up all the gems on the lower level then. The last 2 will be remaining. Okay, looking good. Come over here, turn to the right, turn to the right. Now he'll stop, and expert is going to lower these 2 down. 1, 2, 3. That looks good. That's at the right level. And now let's lower the blue one down to the lower level. And then when character resumes using the right-hand rule, he should eventually get to both of these gems here. To the right. There we go. Okay. That's okay. He's going to take a long path here because he's always keeping this his right hand against the outer wall. Turn around. Following the wall and the cliff around with his right hand. Here he'll turn to his right really quickly twice, and he should head over to this last gem now. There we go. Picked it up, and that's it. We did it. Okay, so this was our solution where we didn't identify any patterns really. The only thing we did was say, let's just wander around this as if it's a maze. Let's just wander around collecting gems whenever we find them. But we're going to need to stop a couple times to make sure platforms are in the right place so that we can access all those gems. So in the first case, we had to raise the platforms up to the top so that we could wander around the top level. And then once we had 5 gems, we could lower all the platforms down onto the lower level to make all the gems on the lower level accessible, and we could get to them all that way. Now, just a quick review. Remember, the right-hand rule says as long as our character is blocked to the right, we have a hand out touching the right-hand wall, we just want to keep moving forward, unless we're blocked to the front. If we're blocked to the front, then we want to turn left, okay, and get away from that block. Now, if our hand has come away from the wall on the right, then we want to quickly turn right and move our character forward so that we're back up against the wall, and then we can just keep on going, wandering around using the right-hand rule. Okay? All right. Sorry for the couple of mistakes in there, folks, but it's just a good chance to practice debugging our code. We got it in the end, and that's what's important. Okay. See you next time.